Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Bo Diddley, you nigga, you. Oh my God, I wonder where them tapes are now. Can you imagine what is on them tapes? My Jesus. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, and subscribe because it is so important to our success here on the YouTube. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube, and for a small monthly fee of $5. You babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's talk about Etta James and David Ritz, Rage to Survive, the Etta James story, part 7. So where we left off, Etta James and her Judy, Blondie, are off tour or off the road, okay? And the two have ended up over Etta James's father house or adopted father house, or whatever you want to call it, because Sarge is Mama Lou's widow. Okay, so you got the two girls, Etta James and Blondine, living in the house with Sarge, daddy. And while she's there, she's realizing that, wait a minute, my daddy walking around here a little bit too happy. What the heck is going on here? And where Blondine getting all these clothes from? She ain't got no job. Etta, she is getting the money from your pappy. She is tricking your daddy. Wait a minute, what do I do? My Judy is effing my daddy. What can I do? Stand down. That's all you can do. Your father is happy buying, vagina from your Judy. Just leave it alone. Just let it go. Just I know it hurts, because I don't want to think about my pappy, screwing on my Judy. But, I mean, what can you do? All right? Her father is a widow, and he needs love, too. Widows need love, too. I called myself Etta James. It said Etta James on my records. Sometimes the MC introduced me as Peaches, Miss Etta James. Sometimes they called me the young Etta James. Etta James was a person I was trying to be, a woman I thought I should be. But underneath the pose and clothes, I was still James Etta, a wide-eyed woman child looking around at the world that amazed and baffled me. So I acted tough. I imitated those artists who I thought of as tough, and carried an attitude that said no one or nothing could hurt me. Now, she is talking about her experience with Little Richard, okay? She said this dude has been a trip since day one, okay? She admired him because of the fact that he was bold enough to be whatever character his mind told him to be in that moment, and I ain't got to delve into that because you guys already know. But she loved how he was the guy who could say, this is who I am, accept me or don't accept. Meeting people like Little Richard, he called himself King Richard and would get mad if you didn't recognize him as royalty. Child bang, that's what queens do. I loved him. I thought he was brave to put on his personality in such an individual way. He had the guts to be a king and a queen, all at the same time. Everyone knows that without Richard, there'd be no Michael Jackson or Prince. He led the way, making it all right to be weird, wedding his weirdness to his creativity. Richard was a sweetheart, a take it to the max screamer, banging his piano, jumping into the audience, crazing the kids with his Lucille and long, tall Sally, and a good golly Miss Molly. Richard was a raver before the time. What she said was when she started traveling with Richard would try that bull S, okay? One time she entered the dressing room or tried to enter the dressing room. She said Richard had this burly man standing outside of his door. What do you want, little girl? I want to talk to Richard. I'm sorry, we don't have a Richard here. I couldn't stomach that kind of crap, and I told Richard so. I just bust on in there and say, what is this King Richard bullshit? He'd laugh about it and give me a big hug. After all, he was a kid just like me. I respected that he was openly gay with his colleagues, but he didn't flaunt it. If you think for 1 second that us viewers, even though I wasn't there, but if you think for 1 second that we wasn't looking at his ass on stage thinking, oh, he is getting a whole lot of vagina and dick. He was cool with that kind of lifestyle. It was a time of crazy orgies, and Richard, along with nearly everyone else, was willing to participate, okay? Now, let me tell you another thing that she talked about in here, exposing the black church again, okay? She said that the black church was deep into all that for the shenanigans and you know, fuckery, okay? They were the first people to be like, oh, okay, let me in. How much does this cost? Okay, here go my $5, let me in. Or how much it costs, whatever it costs to get into those little freaky deaky parties. So what we read in the Aretha Franklin Respect book is being confirmed in this book by Etta James. That them gospel people, them church people be the biggest freaks out there. Now, one time, she speaks of another incident where she was chaperoning the Shirelles, okay? I was like, the Shirelles, ain't y'all about the same age? Etta explained that she wasn't much older than the Shirelles, but because she had been on the road longer, you know, she was trusted to take care of the younger girls or somewhat younger girls. So one time, the Shirelles was telling Etta, look, we got a party to go to, girl. Is you coming or what? Now, because Etta James ain't saved and or sanctified, she went right on along, okay? Etta James said they might as well had the devil chaperoning them. She goes on to explain that when it came down to these girls and boys groups, that they was always playing musical beds, okay? We know this from reading the Mary Wilson book, okay? Because, you know, every Supreme had their go at every temptation. The Shirelles said, come on, Etta, we about to go to this party. They at the party, okay? The little Shirelles is behind Etta. They in this maze type hotel thing, right? Child, oh my God, hold on. First thing I saw was Bo Diddley making movies. Bo's been making movies, private movies, for over 30 years. Child, Bo got him some home movies you wouldn't believe. So there he was, going from room to room with his camera, aiming his lens at all the juiciest action. And then I was with the Shirelles, giggling behind me, trying to keep them out of the rooms where they didn't belong. Rooms where I could see the glow of Bo's horny camera. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Bo Diddley, you nigga, you. Oh my God, I wonder where them tapes are now. Can you imagine what is on them tapes? My Jesus. So let me do this, okay? So you know Bo Diddley is the producer, director, the cameraman, you know, the keys grip and all that at the same time. She there, the Shirelles right behind her. She opened up these doors, okay? One of the doors she opened up, it had two men in there doing their judge, right? One of the Shirelles was like, oh, I didn't know men could, that, like that, and do it there and all that, you know. Etta quickly closed the door, okay? You don't need to know anything about that, just let's keep moving, right? I told you. Etta said that she might as well have been the devil leading them into this, you know, house of fun. Then you get to the next room, okay? The next room, you got Bo Diddley like this, filming, okay? And you got Little Willie John. Remember the junkie dude that used to steal all the dum-dums rings? Ooh, that show is a pretty ring. Can I wear that ring on stage? And then after the show, Willie John and the ring be gone. Now, Willie John is narrating this particular movie, okay, with Bo Diddley like this. Then Etta James homes in on the girl, okay? The girl got her little French tam on her head, you know? She like this, look up. Oh, hi, Etta girl. Hey, Etta girl. What's going on? Okay. Willie John sitting right there narrating all the anatomies of her, inner workings. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Blondine is like, long time no see, girl. You still mad at me for fucking your daddy? Etta's just baffled. This dirty bitch. How you go from fucking my daddy to making home movies? She's still like this. Yeah, girl, you look good. You look good. Hey, maybe we can catch up after this. Etta James said answer no and just slowly backed out of the room. Now, while Etta is amazed at what she is seeing in this room with Bo Diddley's camera, and Willie John narrating her anatomy into the camera, like he's getting interviewed about Blondine's coochie. The Shirelles then crept off to a room and then they joined in on the fun elsewhere. It was Dorothy who got me to change booking agents. She thought I should be making more money, so she took me to New York to meet Bill Shaw. With one of the biggest rosters of black talent, Billy got me into the black theaters, like the Apollo Theater in Harlem, the Royal in Baltimore, and the Howard Theater in D.C. It was in Washington, D.C., where I met Harvey Fuqua, who turned out to be my first full-fledged boyfriend. Harvey was a cool character. He was older than me by 9 or 10 years. He was handsome and in his 20s. Harvey was the daddy of doo-wop. Just as Georgia Gibbs had copied some of my songs and Pat Boone had copied Fats Domino and Little Richard, the McGuire sisters ripped off the Moonglows sincerely and outsold the original 4-1. Etta is sensitive about that because remember when she was like, roll with me, Henry, and that lady Georgia Gibbs said, that roll with me, Henry is too insinuative. Okay, I'm just going to say dance with me, Henry. The Moonglows, as one of the classiest, most mellow of the boy groups, with songs like Seesaw and 10 Commandments of Love, Harvey had even invented a new style of harmony. We called it blow harmony. He could come on like a Kentucky gentleman. Other times he had the crafty, common moves of a pimp. Raised in Louisiana, he had a honey molasses voice and a debonair manner. As I told you, I was secretly in love with my Uncle Frank, and Harvey reminded me of him. Now I know you like, so she's in love with her Uncle Frank. What kind of incestuous bull stuff is that? I don't think it's that. I don't feel that dynamic between her and her uncle. What I feel is that she looks upon him very, very lovingly because Uncle Frank is the most stability that she has ever had in her life after Mama Lou died. Okay, Sarge is dead, but Sarge is in her Judy. So how much, you're going to rely on that ninja? I wouldn't call Harvey super sexy, but his Black Panther skin turned me on. Harvey was also a promoter and a hustler, something that I didn't see till a little later. Don't worry about that, because you know how it be. They be everything to us in the beginning, child. You don't know that the person is effed up, okay, until you in it about 6 months to a year. Okay, girl, don't feel bad about that. We all been tricked, okay? I was talking to my Judy the other day, and my Judy was like, that nigga threw me in a trick bag. I was like, a trick bag? She said, no, Nate, it wasn't a trick bag. It was a trick sack. I said, a sack, babe? She said, no, fuck that. That nigga threw me in a trick duffel. Though I had my eyes on Harvey from the get-go, it took a while for us to get together. Actually, it was Bobby Lester, the lead singer for the Moonglows, who was trying to catch me. Bobby had an on and off again relationship with the group, and Harvey didn't pick him up till the tour was underway. Bobby Lester was another cool one. He kept his hotel room perfumed with floral spray, and stuffed a towel under the door to keep the weed smoke from floating out. Bobby turned up as a junkie early in the game. Fact is, he was one of the first junkies I met. Now, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, and subscribe, because it is so important to our success here on the YouTube. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button, and for a small monthly fee of $5. You babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, remember this. The same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies, let's have a good